Welcome to She Rolls Rogue, where it's no-gi,
No apologies.
no rules.
Oh, crap.
Where it's no-gi
No rules and
and
no
no
apologies.
apologies.
There we go.
There we go. Um, so obviously we are without Tori today. Um, Busy schedules, and then I thought we had more time to record episodes, and then we didn't. So this is really weird not holding mics.
It is weird.
Um,
And not having Tori here.
I
So
know.
everything's a little off today.
Yeah, so this is gonna be an interesting episode.
We'll make it work.
Don't mind the double chins because I'm gonna be like, ugh. But yeah, we got mini mics for our Tap In Tuesday series, and since it's just the two of us, we're like, well, let's try an episode with just the mini mics instead of having to like hold a mic. And well, Tori's the main culprit of like
She's
swinging it
around.
swinging
Yeah,
it
she
around.
talks with it.
But yeah, so we'll see how these go. We might have to
let us know if the sound is better or worse.
Yeah, leave us some feedback. We have some guys in the gym that give us feedback, but the whole world out there give us feedback. But if you're gonna be mean to us, shut up.
Only good feedback allowed.
Or constructive
criticism.
Just don't be a dick. Cool. So today we figured, so we asked Tori if she was okay with us recording without her. And her response was yes, just do a topic that
she doesn't know about.
Don't know about.
Right.
So we figured this was a good time to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome. I'm a blue belt. You're
a purple belt. A new purple belt.
New purple belt. And then Tori is a
two-stripe white
belt. So Natalie and I figured this would be a good chance for us to sit and talk about how we felt when we got our belts.
Right.
And then just, I feel like most people in the jiu-jitsu world, when they get promoted, they're very excited, but they're like, oh, do I fill the role of this belt?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a little bit. Do you want to talk about how you felt when you got your blue belt first?
When I got my blue. Okay, yeah. So admittedly, when I got my blue belt, I didn't have that same weird imposter syndrome feeling that I had with my purple belt. And part of that was because I didn't really go outside of the gym that I was at the time. So I really didn't have it anything to compare myself to other than other people that were going through the same process with me. And so for the most part, everybody that I had gotten my blue belt with had started almost at the exact same time as me. So we had kind of all grown through the rank together, I guess. And so that one I didn't have that same feeling of imposter syndrome. I will say leading up to, because at that gym there's a much more specific curriculum that you're learning and a test that goes along with it. So up until I started with the testing portion, I didn't really know where I was going to stack up. But once I got through and started memorizing some of those moves, then then I was like, okay, I feel confident in this blue belt. So we'll shoot it over to you, but my purple belt is an entirely different story. So your turn.
Yeah. So my blue belt was weird because when I got my blue belt, I was like, I feel confident that I'm a blue belt, but I had been a 4-stripe white belt for a long time, and I was competing in like absolute brackets and all of that. So I felt confident that I would be able to stand in the blue belt bracket and at that rank. And I felt good. And I also got my blue belt from Ken, which put a lot of confidence in me because I was like, okay, like if Ken can see that I'm a blue belt, he believes I'm a blue belt, then I should think that I'm a blue belt.
Right.
Where I struggled with it was once I got it, and then things would happen. I'm like, I am not a blue belt.
Yeah, that's fair.
So one thing that me personally have struggled with is obviously stripes and everything, where I see people that are the same stripe as me, and I'm like, oh, but I'm on a plateau. Like they're much better than I am. But that's just like everyone's path is always different. Right. So it's just like a mental thing for me. I think when I got my 3rd stripe on my blue belt, I was like, it was a little bit of a weird thing for me because here we usually Shark Tank
Right.
for stripes, and then you get Shark Tanked for about a month for your next belt. Um,
Right.
and we just try to break you down.
Like the
But
military.
yeah, when I got my second stripe, I had been Shark Tanked like a little bit, but it definitely wasn't as bad as like my first stripe. And I made the mistake of, after getting my stripe, looking at Ken and being like, oh, like I thought that I would have had to work harder for that.
Oh.
Yeah. So I stuck my foot in my mouth on that one because I think the next class I got Shark Tanked a lot, which was fine. Like I like putting in the work and like
Yeah.
knowing I earn my
I don't
stuff.
hate the Shark Tanks.
No, I for my birthday I asked to be Shark Tanked
Yeah. No,
for
it's kind of
the
nice.
number of minutes I'm turning of years that year.
Yeah.
I said that's stupid, but my third stripe on my blue belt was hard for me to wrap my head around because, like we've talked about, my shoulder, which did you guys notice I'm out of my sling? I can get this far now. It's pretty cool.
She's getting better.
I'm an athlete. um, but no, so my third stripe was, it took me by surprise when I got it because I was not really training. Like I was sticking around to watch classes and maybe doing some drilling, and it was like, okay, like I can do that without my shoulder dislocating. So I was like doing things here and there, but I was still teaching,
Yeah,
still am
that's
teaching. So if you guys have never taught before, it definitely helps grow your game
hmm
because you have to break things down step by step, and you don't realize some of the things that you do to accomplish the technique, which really now, because I am still coaching, but I'm using two ukis and talking them through. And so now, even when I was teaching and I was showing technique, I would be like, well, I'm doing it, and I would miss little steps. But
right.
now with two ukis, where if they're like not getting it, what I'm saying, I'm like, well, what am I missing? So with my third stripe, I wasn't really training that much. Definitely didn't get Shark Tanked.
No, not gonna Shark Tank you.
No, and it was at the end of a women's class, and I had just, I think it was odd numbers, and you ran off the mat. And so someone was left without a partner, so I started rolling, and then at the end of class, Ken came in and gave me my third stripe, and I
hmm
was like, oh,
Yeah,
what?
I figured it would surprise you, but again, it's not like the time in between your second and your third stripe you hadn't grappled at
Right.
all, and there was still improvement.
Yeah.
And like you said, teaching really adds to that.
Yes, it does.
So
Um, and to be fair, I have been doing a lot of shit talking the last 7 weeks, and I know a handful of people are chomping at the bit for me to get back on the mat because
you probably have a rough day.
yeah, I have an ass whooping coming my way because I just sit there and chirp on the sidelines.
hmm
It's my new profession.
But
um,
hopefully not so much that they're not allowed to injure the
yeah,
shoulder again,
no, they're
because
just
then
gonna,
they have to deal with me.
yeah,
So
they're just gonna push the pace, and
we'll probably push the pace.
yeah, they'll beat me up a little bit, which is fine
Yeah.
because I deserve it. But yeah, that third stripe was, I felt it a little bit, and I felt it through the striping,
Yeah.
but I definitely, yeah, I'll let you talk about your purple belt, and then we
Yeah,
can go
okay.
into that.
Well, one thing about the white to blue, and actually every stage, whether it's white to blue, blue to purple, purple to brown, which I haven't gotten there yet, but I imagine is probably the same, is when you compete at your four stripe level, and then you go to the baby
Then
whatever,
you get knocked down.
and then it's like, because when you're at the top of that level, you're like, wow, I'm kicking the shit out of everybody. My double gold on when my four stripe white belt, and then and then not so great on my blue belt.
And then I don't make the podium.
Right, and then I don't even make the podium, and you're like, oh shit, maybe I suck. But you don't actually suck. You're just now at the lower part of that experience bracket,
Yeah.
right? So it makes sense. But yeah, my purple belt was a lot different because so the obviously the gym change, and the other purple belts that we train with, because I feel like there's a big split off with that blue. Like those first 2 years, everybody, obviously you have some people that just excel in a way that's crazy, but a lot of people kind of follow along a very similar path. But that blue to purple is when you really start to get your own game.
Right.
And so here I am, like, going against people like, we're going to say his name once again, Alex Docha.
We really need to
Yeah,
get him on the
right.
podcast.
And I'm rolling with people like him, and just so many people that are really, really good. And I'm like, this is where you start to compare yourself against people that you shouldn't be comparing yourself against, but it's hard not to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm comparing myself against Alex. I'm a 50-year-old woman, and Alex is a 20-something-year-old, oddly flexible, weird dude that's going to triangle you from any spot. Like, I shouldn't be comparing myself to
I
him.
also want to say that you're our first female purple belt in the gym too.
Oh yes, I am.
Little pat on
uh,
the back.
and obviously this it puts me in a whole different spot, because and I'm just going to be honest here, no apologies, I never wanted to be seen as, I got my purple belt because I'm Ken's wife. And I was very, very sensitive to that. And so when he said he was going to give me his purple belt, my immediate reaction was, I shouldn't. And it's in part because I'm worried about what other people, I want to know that I can hold my own, and that other people in the community are like, yeah, she's a solid purple belt. That's important to me that people think that. So yes, I had imposter syndrome for two different reasons. One, going against people that I'm just like, they're kicking my ass, but they're kicking my ass because they're 20 years old or whatever. And because I was Ken's wife. Like, that was problematic for me. But also, I remind myself that I sat on that blue belt for several years.
Yes.
And the number of open mats I go to now, and the people that I roll with outside of the community, outside of my own little, my own little bubble here, is much different. And you and I had gone to an open mat in Illinois, and holding my own against purple and brown belts, that made me go, oh, okay, I can do this, and I can hold my own.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird feeling to question whether or not you're good enough to hold that. I have not competed as a purple belt. I
She's
would
gonna
like
compete in
to.
June.
Oh, I might compete in June.
She's gonna compete in June. I'm gonna put it on the record. I'm just kidding.
um,
I can tell her she's gonna compete
yeah,
because she's the
right.
gym owner. Anyone else, I will never tell them they have to compete.
I'm hoping, I do plan, whether or not it's in June, I don't know, but I do want to compete. Excuse me, definitely as a purple belt. But it is hard to find women in my bracket.
Yeah.
Given my age, and the further you go up in age, and skill level, the fewer people there are.
Right.
So
Right.
we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think if anyone, first and foremost, if anyone ever doubts like your rank, come roll with us.
well, that's true. Yeah.
Like, come see, because you have been one of my number one training partners for the past 3 years.
Long time. Yeah, 3 years
Well,
at least.
at
Even
least
before
three
that,
years.
probably we rolled quite a bit at the old
Yeah.
gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been like number one training partners for a long time. And there, I would say over the past probably like year, year and a half, your leg lock game has just skyrocketed. Um, to the point where when Natalie and I train together, it's actually really frustrating.
We're so stupid.
We don't play well together because we can't do stand up because we know what the other one is going to go for. So we just circle around each other for the whole 5 minutes. So we usually just sit or start sitting, which is fine. But I don't let you get a hold of my legs, or I try to not let you get a hold of my
Right.
legs, and then you don't let me get a hold of your arms.
Right.
So it was like I was always afraid of your leg game, but now I'm just like, don't even look at my foot. Please
Oh.
don't touch my foot because
Yeah.
it's a little scary. But yeah, I don't.
But it also puts me on the bottom sometimes. So
Yeah, that's true. I just try to use my speed to my advantage.
that's how it's always been with you and I, though, is because I'm bigger than you. So if I do get on top, good luck.
Yeah, I just sit there.
Right. But you're way faster than me. So like passing my guard has always been, obviously I've always struggled with that. but I
But you're
struggle
getting
with
really
it less now because of the leg game,
well,
I
and you're
think.
getting really good at putting your feet over your head.
Right? Yeah, I've learned how to invert a lot
Yeah.
better.
And I'm
So
like, okay, well, I'll just step on that. Like, I'll
yeah,
just pin you
yeah.
here and
So yeah,
see.
prior to the inversion game though is when like you would just constantly just pass my guard, and I can't keep up. So all I could do was wait for you to make a mistake.
Which is often.
That was, well, I don't know about that, but that was, but yeah, when you know, I know you're going for the arms, you know I'm going for the legs.
Yeah.
However, when you get it anyway, that's when you know. You're like, oh
Yes.
yeah, she got
Yes.
an arm bar anyway, and it's like, damn
Yeah.
it.
And I think it is good. So an example is Tori's husband, Will. So when when he started here, like I like arm bars, I would
Hmm.
arm bar the shit out of him. And it was great. And then he would get mad and he's like, I'm gonna make it a goal for you to not arm bar me.
Yeah.
And for a while there, I was not getting arm bars on him and I was getting so frustrated because I'm like, gosh damn it. Like just let me get it. And he wasn't, which good on him because he's elevating his
Because
game.
he's learning, right? Yeah.
And I eventually got an armbar on him. I was like, okay, I do know arm bars again. Like, perfect. And he was so mad when I got that armbar. He's like, are you fucking kidding? I'm like, that sucks for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to believe in your belt. I think a big part of it is who you surround yourself with and your training environment.
Hmm.
So, like, if you I don't want to say no apologies. So, if you stay stagnant and you never go outside of your bubble, it's going to be really easy to believe in your belt, I feel like.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Because you're not going out. If you think about it, like you and I can't really train, we can train together, but we don't get things off on each other because you know what I'm going to do. I know what you're going to do.
Hmm.
So it's hard. Now, when we do get it, it's great because we're like, okay, like that worked. Like, let me figure out how I got to that on a person that knows what I'm going to do.
Right.
But when you go out into the community and you go against someone that just got their blue belt and you've had your blue belt for 2 years and they smash you, you're like, oh,
Right.
I'm not a blue belt.
Right.
Take me back to four stripe white belt. Like
Hmm.
it's on my shelf. I'm gonna grab it. I don't wear the gi, but if I did, I'm gonna put that four stripe white belt back on and
Yeah.
be a little bit of a sandbagger for a minute.
No, I definitely felt that way my first blue belt. Like I said, I didn't really feel any kind of way when I got the blue belt. My very first blue belt competition was with Rachel. Not our Rachel Malik or Giannis. Rachel Spearlings. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but she's from up north and she's the absolute sweetest. So shout out to Rachel. But she's like way taller than me and I'm way stockier than her, and neither one of us could figure out what to do with the other one. And so it was it was definitely an odd thing, but my second competition under blue belt, I just got utterly smashed. Just smashed.
Okay, but mention
I mean, I was in the adult bracket. They were all much younger than me. Much younger than me, like 20 years younger than me. So did I mention I'm old? Um,
Bluebird. Got it.
uh, but yeah, so that was weird. It was definitely weird. She was and she was a wrestler, so she was like a 20. I mean, all three of them were hard for me, but I think the very first one fucked up the rest of my game for sure, no
Yeah.
doubt about it, because my head was never right in the right spot after that. Bad for me, but like she just was this beast of a
Like
wrestler
bulldog.
and bulldog, and she just like she got on top and I just couldn't move her. And
Super
but
sweet.
she's very sweet.
We met
Yeah,
her at
she was at
Fion.
Fion. Yeah, and I went back up to her and I said, like, I just wanted to talk to her and be like, hey, I didn't, in case it came off, I was just being hard on myself or whatever, and we never really got a chance to talk. She's very sweet, but yeah, she absolutely smushed me. And
Don't mind me.
oh, and so that was definitely at that moment I was like, wow, am I really a blue belt? Can I
Yeah.
really hold this belt? Or can I really like claim this belt? And so I'm really glad I did sit on my blue belt as long as I did, because I would not have been ready to be a purple belt.
Yeah.
What, 2 years later? I
Yeah.
needed to sit on that much longer.
I think blue and stew is like the
I
best way to
agree.
think about it. And one thing that, so like there's imposter syndrome, but then there's also the everyone around me is getting promoted and I'm not,
Oh yeah, that's
which
a terrible feeling too.
it's horrible. Um, but I look at it and I'm like, well, and I'm not saying this about anyone that I know, but I'm like, I would rather be a blue belt that can jump up into the brown, black, purple belt divisions and hold my own than get promoted to that belt and then not be able to hold my own and question myself on my
That's
belt.
absolutely.
Um, and that's one thing that's nice. I know, like in the gi, a lot of places don't let you jump up in skill because it looks bad, whatever.
Right.
But
I guess they don't want a purple belt getting beat by a blue belt.
yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
But
Um, but like you can always challenge yourself. So if you're sitting there being like, I'm a purple belt, but I'm not getting promoted, go into the purple belt division and test yourself.
yeah, absolutely.
You can always jump up in skill, obviously more so in the no gi than gi, because I know some associations don't let you do that.
I
Um,
can't think of any that do actually with the
yeah,
gi. So
yeah. But yeah, so like I see some of my friends getting their purple belts, and I'm like, oh, I think it would
yeah,
be nice, but at the same time, I'm like, mm, I don't want people to like question my purple belt.
right.
And I will shout her out by name because I know she listens, so thank you. But Isabel Dawson, she she was just on main character and beat another tough purple belt, and her fiance Jason was like, I don't know the exact conversation, so no one quote me, but I know he's like, they made a post that he's like, she doesn't want me to promote her to purple belt, and she said something about like imposter syndrome, I believe. And I totally get it. But she's
Mm-hmm.
over here like murdering like these purple belts left and right. I
Yeah,
mean, she was on Thug Trials and got that sub in like what, 7 seconds? And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, you're probably a purple belt, dude. But
yeah,
at the same time, like she's like, please don't promote me, which I get because I look at it the same way where I'm like, I would rather be a blue belt for a while. And also I don't put the gi on so no one even knows.
right. I mean, that's part of the issue with the nogi being primarily nogi is it doesn't ultimately really
Yeah.
matter
I mean,
in
I
the
can get a
end,
ranked rash guard, but
right? And I think I own one, but I never wear it. Excuse me. Sorry. Um,
no apologies. What are you doing?
yeah, I don't think I even wear my ranked rash guard very often.
Yeah.
And if I recall, it was a gift anyway. I didn't buy it, but so it really matters less when you're nogi, except I suppose in competition.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of the ADCC opens,
Right.
and they just put you in experience, years of experience anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean, you beat a brown belt, right? So I mean, that should
Remember
take.
how I said I was never going to shut up about that?
She
Thanks,
beat a
Nat.
brown belt. So
With an e-bar. It's on my
it was a
Instagram.
very nice bar. So, but I guess the question, so like that would make you not feel weird about getting your purple belt,
yeah.
but then when you get your purple belt and the blue belt beats you, which could happen,
Yes,
right?
it
Like
will
that's
happen.
and it will happen. So that's kind of the weird thing. And I know they've been talking, I've seen it more and more out there. There's a difference between a blue belt and a competition blue belt.
Yes.
There's a
Big
big
difference.
difference. So like am I going to, I don't, speaking for myself, not for you, because I know once your shoulder's better, whether you'll be out there in the competition bracket. I'll do competition, but it'll always be like the master uh,
Hey, I can go in
division.
masters now.
You can, but you're going to go in the adults because that's where it's at least for a while.
I know.
I can do the masters, what, like masters 5 division or whatever. And now you made me lose my train of thought. But it's purple belt is like now I'm just an open, basically, like it's
Yeah.
just open experience. So I'm probably going to spend the rest of my days getting the shit kicked out of me
Yeah.
for a while, like, and that's just the way it goes, and that's fine. um I did totally, I'm sorry, I, no apologies, but I totally lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
You're talking about competition blue belt versus non-competition blue belt, and
Fuck, I don't remember. Anyway,
we're getting
keep
so many
going, your turn.
highlights out of this.
What's that?
We're getting so many highlights out of this.
Yeah.
It's great. I schedule our content every Sunday, and I have to clip the episodes to be like, what's good, what's good, what's good.
Yep.
I need to like make mental notes on where this is. How many minutes are we in? I can't see
I can't see it. I'm gonna put my glasses on.
it. But yeah, it's imposter syndrome is definitely like a big thing. And then I know there's people that are like trying to rush to their next belt.
Right.
And for the people doing that, like I'm never going to tell you what to do, but like maybe just like take a moment and like blue and stew.
Yeah.
I don't know
There's
what it
no
is at
rush.
purple, but there's no rush. Like we said, if you're doing no-gi, you can always jump up.
Yeah.
You can also like take super fights with more experienced people.
Mhm.
I mean, we've talked about it before, but it was like shortly after I got my blue belt that I took that fight to win. I think I had only been a blue belt for
Yeah, it wasn't long.
a
No, you were.
couple of months,
Yeah.
like brand
Yeah.
new. And I was told that the girl had a little bit more experience than me, but she was underweight. Like she weighed less than me
Mhm.
and she was a little bit younger, which I'm like, well, that's an advantage to her, but whatever.
Right.
Um, and then a day or two before, I found out like she had held her purple belt for as long as I had been training.
Right.
And so it was one of those where I panicked. I'm like, oh, like I don't. I came to you and Ken, and I was like, should I pull out of this? And you guys are like, we'll support you in whatever you do. And now I lost to a outside heel hook in under 45 seconds. I tried to lat drop throw her, and she just it would have gone through.
It was close.
It was
Yeah.
close. But she posted her foot at the last minute, and so that was a little bit of a biff.
Yeah. But you
But
recovered well, didn't you?
yeah, we just
Yeah.
got into the leg entanglements
Right.
and
And you had just started learning
yeah,
legs.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I didn't know much about legs. And I had just gotten my blue belt, and like I said, she had had her purple belt for about as long
Mhm.
as I had been training. Um, and I look at that match, and at the time, I will admit I was really upset about the loss. But I had a lot more pressure on me. I'll talk about that in a minute. I had a lot more pressure on me just based on personal stuff. But I look at that match now and I'm like, yeah, but I was a new blue belt that went up against a very experienced competitor,
Right.
purple belt. I mean,
Competition purple belt.
she had done ADCC East Coast trials,
Right.
and I'm like, oh, okay, like this girl has the balls to go do that.
Mhm.
Like that's impressive. And now I look at it and I would love to get a match in her with her again, Crystal, if you're listening. We're friends
Okay.
now. So I'm gonna call her out. But no, I would love to at least roll with her again. And she's out.
Mhm.
I've kind of put her as my like point of checking to see where I'm at. I haven't gotten to roll with her since then. I think I've seen her at one open mat, but I didn't get a chance to pull her aside to roll. But um, definitely like stepping up in experience, and then if you can
Mhm.
train with that person later on and just like see where you're at now is always like a good checkpoint.
Yeah. And I do think that skills tend to like because you learn so much early on and then you both start to kind of
Figure out your game.
figure out your game, and so I imagine that she's getting better and better, but you got better at a faster clip, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
because it's just the way it goes, like,
Right. Right.
um white belts learn quicker because there's more to learn is essentially
Mm-hmm.
the point I'm making on that. So you guys have probably evened out a
Yeah.
little bit more. So it'd be good to see where
Yeah.
you stand now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know more legs now than you did
Right.
at that time.
Right. Yeah, no,
So
it would be fun to roll with her
yeah.
again. Once I'm back, I would like to go down. She's down in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to train with her sometime. There's a lot of girls. Everyone I compete against, I'm like, where do you train? When can we get together?
Right.
Like the ADCCs, I have girls on the East Coast and the West Coast that I talk
Mm-hmm.
to, and it's like, yeah, come out. Like I was gonna go to Geo's gym for a long weekend and train with them
Yeah, that'd be
for a bit.
interesting.
But yeah, so it's all about making connections and everything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a tie into my what I wanted to say about putting pressure on myself
Oh,
was
yeah.
about being a bad loser. I've gotten much better at being a good loser,
Okay.
which you know
Yeah.
this about me. But before it was like I had to win. I was like, if I don't win, I'm shit. Like I don't deserve to do it. Like this and that. I was hard on myself, and all of that. And now I've become a much better loser. So that fight to win, I think, was kind of the turning point for me. So
Mhm.
I had my first ADCC open the weekend before, and I won 2 matches. And I
Right.
was
In
like,
Chicago, right?
yeah, so I won my first one, and I that kind of got me pumped up because I was self-doubting myself there too. I'm like, do I even should I be stepping foot on an ADCC mat?
Mhm.
And when I won my first one, I was like, okay, like
I can hang, right.
I can hang out here. Like this is pretty cool. And then I lost one, which put me down into the losers bracket. Um, to come back for a bronze. And so I lost one, and then I won my next one, and then I lost my one to get into the bronze match.
Right.
And I was hard on myself, but I was like, I'm going against these girls. I looked them up. I should stop doing that until after, but I'm going against these girls. I held my own, and then the next weekend I went against Crystal, and I was very upset.
Right.
I think a lot of it was that I lost so quick. I was like, I want to at least last 2 minutes, but it was 45 seconds, which is fine. But it was embarrassment, um, which comes from like a different topic I don't want to really necessarily talk about here. But it was like a little bit of embarrassment and like, oh, I don't fulfill my blue belt. So that was
Oh,
about a little bit of imposter syndrome. But then I looked back at it, I'm like, and I use it now, but it was a win-win for me. If I won, I beat a high-level competitive purple belt. But if
mhm.
I lost to a high-level competitive purple belt that I put myself against.
Right.
Um, so I became a much better loser, but it took me a couple of weeks after that
Mhm.
one. And then I was like, okay, well, if I lose, I lose.
Yeah.
And then like stepping into the advanced brackets at ADCC, I'm like, if I win in the advanced bracket, like sweet, I've won at an ADCC advanced bracket. But if I lose, like,
Oh well.
oh well,
Yeah.
I lost as a blue belt in an advanced bracket that has purple, brown, and black belts in it.
Yeah. Because
Um,
essentially it's anything over. I think they'll give you maybe 6 years, but it's
yeah,
5 and above
yeah,
is their advanced bracket. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So I've definitely become little bit of a better
yeah.
loser.
But you going into those advanced brackets, you kind of have to be because you could be going against literally somebody who's been a black belt longer than you've been training,
Oh yeah,
and so that becomes like, oh my gosh.
yeah,
And yeah, like Ken's first guy that he ever went against at an ADCC Open had been a black belt longer than he had been
yeah.
training, and so that's something that you just have to get used to, right?
Right.
Once you hit those levels.
I uh
um
I look at the brackets and I'm always like, who's gonna be in this bracket? So
mhm,
Shy Lily was in my Louisville bracket, which I had to pull out,
mhm.
obviously shoulder. Um, but I was like, oh shit, she's a brown belt out of 10th Planet Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And she's been on UFC BJJ and like she's got a dangerous guard game and triangle, armbar triangle setups, like really good. And so I saw she was in my bracket, and I was trying to not psych myself out, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit
Yeah.
nervous. But at the same time, getting to compete against someone like that
Mhm.
is so cool. And then some unfortunate things happened at that tournament that I saw on Instagram later, and I ended up shooting her a message and be like, "Hey, you don't deserve that." Blah 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 blah. A big drama with her opponent and her coach and
Oh,
family.
I don't remember that. Hmm.
It was a bunch of bullshit. But yeah, I won't drop
Hmm.
names on that one.
Tell me later.
I doubt they're listening. They probably don't even know who we are. We probably don't even give a shit, but I just won't drop their names. They were pretty shitty. So I messaged Shy and I was just like, hey, like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Like, I was supposed to be in your bracket this weekend and I was really, really looking forward to it. And her and I have chatted here and there since then, which we should try and get her on the podcast.
Okay.
I need to figure out the remote stuff.
Oh, so that we can, yeah.
Yeah, so we can do remote interviews because there's a couple that I wanna ask. I have an
You can
in
probably
with
just put a little computer here with
yeah,
them. Teams it.
yeah. I have a couple that I have connections to on Instagram and like meeting them at ADCC opens where I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, like we could get some of these girls on here, which would be
that'd be
cool.
cool.
But
I'd love to get anyone on here who has competed with Helena, because talking about being a feeling, imposter syndrome, like I'm always impressed by people that take that match because
yeah,
like, do you go into that going, same thing? Do you go into a match with her thinking you can beat her?
Yeah.
Or do you go into it saying, well, if I don't, who cares? I lost
Yeah.
to Helena,
You know who would be a good one? And I'm gonna call her out right now because she commented on the Malice in Wonderland. She
Oh,
just had a match with her, which I'm gonna probably slaughter your last name if you're listening. But Katie Boshenik.
yeah. Actually, I think that probably is,
I hope so.
that's
I'm
pretty
sorry.
close, I
I'm
bet.
sorry,
I
Katie, if I
bet.
messed that up. But I would love to talk to her because
Mm-hmm.
she trained, I think, at Pedigo here in
Yeah.
Illinois, or not here, but in Illinois, and then now she's down at Simple
Simple
Man.
Man.
And I'm sure has developed her game. And I wonder how that match came about. Like, I always wonder how matches come about.
Right.
Like Ali Woski and Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
How did they,
yeah,
yeah.
how do they end up? So I would love to have Katie on and just kind of talk about the experience and like what was her mindset going into that. Like
Yeah.
having Helena, who's at the top of her game, and like
Right.
she's on like a freaking tear of not just victories but submission victories.
Right. And fast
Yeah,
submission
and
victories.
fast.
Yeah.
And so what is the mindset going into something like that? And
Yeah. Like,
but Katie, I believe, which again, I'm sorry, I believe she's a purple belt. So being a purple belt going up against a black belt.
yeah, I don't know. But again, she's a competition purple belt. So
Yes.
that's a whole different
Yeah.
level purple belt. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to go against Katie and say, well, I don't think I deserve my purple belt because she
Right.
kicked my ass, because she would kick my ass.
Yeah.
She's younger and she's a competition purple belt. So
Yeah.
she's quite a bit younger. So, that's, you can't fully compare yourself to people,
Yeah.
but also, like, yeah, that's crazy. If she's
Yeah.
a purple belt, how did she end up against in a comp with a super fight with Helena?
Yeah.
And what was her thoughts
Yeah.
going into that? Yeah,
I'll have to reach out to her.
it'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I would take, it would never be offered that, but I would take a match just to say
I wouldn't.
I got my ass kicked by Helena.
I wouldn't.
I
I was
would.
her. I was her Uki. I'm
Well,
not.
that's true.
I felt it
Like,
without her even trying. I
right.
don't want to feel
She
it when she's
wasn't trying
trying.
to. Yeah, fair enough. But I would. It'd be cool to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got to compete against, whatever,
I
whoever,
mean,
whether it's Fionn or
yeah.
Helena or.
I would probably take it, and then I would just be like, "Remember that one time I was your Uki? Can you just do that level?
Just be a little more gentle with me.
Let's rig it a little bit. You're still gonna beat me, but like you
Right.
don't have to try 100%. Like,
Well,
but,
and honestly, if she went against me, she wouldn't.
right?
She would just be like, all right.
She's like, okay, yeah. She's she's cool.
Yeah, she's fun.
She's one that I, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we won't talk more on that.
No.
Right
anyway, point is it'd be
yeah.
cool to have some people on here remotely.
We're going on tangents.
Way
now.
off topic here, but that's okay. It's just the two of us. It's a little easier to do so.
But with that being said, I know we like to ask our followers and listeners and everything what they think. And sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't. Please start answering us. Like, come on, guys.
Engage.
But who would you guys like to see on as potential guests or remote guests? Anything like that. I feel like you don't see a lot of jiu-jitsu podcasts with all like the big names. I'm starting to see it a little bit more now, but it would definitely, like, who do you guys want to see? Who's your male, female? I don't know. Give us names, and we'll see what strings we can pull. I have a couple ins with a couple. So hopefully, what it is Ray and I need to test out the remote stuff, and it took 3 months for him to get his passport renewed and TSA pre-check. Okay, he did that today. So we just got to figure it out. But yeah. Okay. Is there, where do we want to go next?
I don't know. I felt like there was something that I wanted
There was something.
There was a point I wanted to make about, I do want to make the point about if you really are kind of questioning whether how important, and this we've said this in pretty much every topic, but how important it is to cross train. Get yourself out there, get out of your bubble, because it really is easy to whether you use that bubble as a way of saying I'm so good or I'm not good enough. Neither one is good for your development. So get yourself out there, compare yourself to other styles, because you could be a complete badass at your gym because your gym has a very specific styling.
True.
Then you go out there and like the leg game being a perfect example of that. If your gym doesn't do legs, that's fine. Like whatever. No shade to that. But you go in competition against somebody who has been doing legs since they were a white belt and now you're a brand new purple belt and you're just starting to learn them and they've been doing them for a while. So it's really a good idea to be out there and
Yeah.
checking yourself.
Yeah. And you can pick up little tips and tricks from people too,
Mm-hmm.
when you're out at open mats. Like, usually people are pretty open to, like, if you're like, what the hell was that? Like, they'll show you.
Yeah.
Whenever we've mentioned them a couple of times, but Ben and Scott over at Primal, like, both of them have given me tips for
Right.
stuff where I'm like, you keep catching me in this. What am I
Mm.
doing wrong? And both of them are like, yeah, yeah, you dumbass. They
Right.
don't say that. They don't say that. But which we are going to have Ben on the podcast. He agreed to it.
Oh,
So
okay. All right.
he's going to be like, I take it back now. But no, they're super helpful. And then like when I've gone down to Joey's, like Terry, she hit me with a heel hook, and I just never even thought about it being there, but it's where you're hugging the foot here and you
Yeah.
just come over and grab the heel and you just turn. And she
Mm-hmm.
did that to me, and I purposely put myself there again and like kind of watched what she was doing. And then I was like, oh, like, why have I never thought of that?
Yeah, I don't know. Especially because it is a heel hook, but it's kind of a similar to a leg lock type. And while you may, I mean, you've started doing legs all around, but even before you started getting into legs, you were doing leg locks,
Yeah,
like knee bars. I shouldn't say
knee
that,
bars.
not leg
Yeah.
locks, knee bars. And it's almost a knee bar setup
Mm-hmm.
before it becomes a heel hook. So I'm
Yeah,
actually surprised it was something that you hadn't thought about,
I
but
know.
I think it's definitely something you'll find when you're healed. You'll find something you yourself doing a lot because
Yeah,
you get there a lot.
yeah. No, so it's definitely it's important to go out and cross train, just to like see where you're at, and then also you learn so much when you're out and about. Like like we said, different styles. You can pick up little tips and tricks
Mm-hmm.
from everyone. Expanding your community too. Like
Right.
that's a part of the purpose of this podcast is we want to build specifically the women's jiu-jitsu community, but we're not opposed to having males on here. Like I said, Ben is one that I have talked to before, but we kind of said it in I think episode 1 throwback, but we're not going to have like your everyday Joe Schmo male on here, like
Just any old, yeah.
sorry guys. But someone that like can help promote women's jujitsu and has like an understanding
Right.
of the importance of it and everything. Um, and then obviously talk about their jujitsu too, because that's the whole point of having guests on here. But yeah, getting out and cross training is important. And I mean, I'll go on the record and say it, if you're at a gym that doesn't want you to cross train, there's probably a reason. We've
Mm-hmm.
talked about it before where maybe it's they're afraid that you're going to realize something when you're out
Yeah.
at another gym, or their culture isn't as good as they maybe think it is, something along those lines. So we have YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, and people are doing breakdowns of techniques on all of those
Right.
platforms for free.
Right.
Like, anything your gym is teaching you is not secrecy.
Google any, yeah,
Yeah,
any submission, any position, any Google it. You can find it
yeah,
now. You can find a breakdown of it. It's no secret anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
back in the
no.
day, like, yeah, gyms were known for certain things. And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
don't give our secrets away.
Right.
But now you see it all over the place. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's for a bad one, the baseball choke. Like, you can find that anywhere.
Right.
Scott was the first one, I think, really, that at Primal that was doing the nogi baseball choke. Like, he was
Oh,
super well
yeah.
known for that. And now you see it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He still has a killer nogi baseball choke. It
Yeah.
sucks to be in, and you cannot get to the armbar quick enough. I've
Right.
been there multiple times. And so even seeing like his grip that he does, which I can't do, like, it just doesn't, my brain doesn't compute.
No,
But
I can't do any of them. Even the normal tube one doesn't.
yeah,
My fingers don't like it.
my fingers aren't strong enough for that. I'd break my
Mm-mm.
wrist if I tried.
No.
But yeah, I think I can't see what time we're at, but this obviously doesn't need to be an hour or anything. Is there anything else on? Do you want to touch base on how you feel like you're gonna feel when you get your brown belt? I think
Sure.
that would be fun, actually.
Um, I mean, I probably got several years to go.
Yes.
Um, uh, so I don't think, yeah, I don't know, because it is definitely going to be weird, because I feel like um as I'm getting a little bit older, and like things get harder, to move, like how long am I going to be able to do the inversions that I'm doing? And at some point, my body is going to, like, am I still going to be able to see such great improvement, or is that just a signal that I start changing my game again? Because I used to be much more of a pressure player. Um, and I haven't done that in a long time. Now, that's not to say
I don't miss that game.
I was gonna say, it's not to say if I don't end up in Mount that I'm not gonna smash you, because I probably am. I just don't fight as hard to get into Mount as
Yeah.
I used to, and I'm fighting a little harder to get to your legs. But so maybe, yeah, maybe I have to go back to that pressure game. But we're talking, what, I got my purple belt in December. December. So
Yeah.
wow, it's already been almost 6 months though.
Yeah.
Jeez. Like, I can't see, admittedly, I don't see myself improving so greatly in 3-ish years.
Yeah.
So that's hard for me to wrap my brain around. Like, how long do I keep? And I never want to be the person that somebody says, I don't know how she has her black belt.
Yes.
I never want to be that person. I would rather stay indefinitely at purple than have somebody question whether or not I should be a black belt.
Yeah, for sure.
That is one of the unfortunate parts of starting older, uh, and not in my, even in my 30s. It would have been nice, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I'll feel about it, but I certainly don't want to give up now. Like,
Yeah.
I want to keep going. I'd love to get my black belt, and I'd love to feel like I'm badass enough to deserve that black belt. So, and I'll keep trying to compete to show that, and I go to open mats all the time and train. Like, when I go to crossover, Kenny and I sometimes go there on Sunday mornings at 11 ish.
Go to crossover Sunday mornings at
Sunday morning
11.
at 11. Yeah, make me not the only woman in the room. I jump right in with those dudes, and
Big dudes too.
big dudes, yeah. And I don't feel like, and I know they're not smashing me, they're not giving me everything they have, but I also feel like the actual jujitsu itself, like, I'm hanging,
Yeah.
Um, so, I don't know. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully, by the time that brown belt comes along, hopefully my friends are honest with me, and they'll say, "Hey, I don't really think you're ready for that." Now, obviously, Ken's gonna be the one to give it to me most likely, and I suspect he'll make me sit on it long for the
Yeah.
same reasons.
Yeah.
So,
If I ever get my black belt,
I was gonna say, you'll get your purple belt.
if I ever get my black belt, I will be a menace to society. That thing will be going everywhere with me. I
You'll
don't
wear
I
it around
don't
your neck.
care that I only train nogi. I will be wearing it as an accessory. I might make a
Yeah.
handbag out of a black belt. I don't know, but I will be taking it everywhere with me because everyone will
The
know.
unfortunate thing about the black belt ranked rash guard is that it's black, red, and white,
Yeah.
and so it's black and red essentially, and so many rash guards are black and red.
Yes.
So you can't even tell that it's a
Yeah.
ranked rash guard anyway most of the time.
Yeah. And you know they
So
make those little ponytail
there
holders
you go. You
that
have
have
to,
like
and the
the
keychain. You could get a
yeah.
keychain too. They
Yeah, they
have
make
little
the
black
the
belt keychains.
ponytails that are the color of your belt, which I think are super cute. I
There
don't
we
have
go.
enough hair to hold
I think
that.
I have a blue belt one actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're so cute, but my hair is thin, so I don't think it would hold my hair
Mm.
very well,
It would hold my
unfortunately.
hair, but it wouldn't stay in any kind of roll. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Courtney gave me a blue belt
Oh,
one
cute.
as a gift, I
Cute.
think.
Um,
Um, so yeah, I don't wear it, but
yeah. I do remember what I wanted to talk about
hmm,
because we're talking about imposter syndrome and this and that. Um, Promotions. Let's talk about promotions for a quick second.
okay.
So, we've kind of done it both ways. I think only once have we promoted someone on the podium.
Once, yeah.
which that was kind of like a
And I don't know that he'll do it again. Not that it was a bad thing. That one was probably very specific to a kid who is
insane.
insane and was a white belt, but was going into, so he's a 16-year-old, so 16-year-old in an adult blue belt bracket, and he won 5 and lost 1, and the guy he lost to was limping off
Yeah.
and just did not want to tap to that ankle lock.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of one of those things where he was like, yeah, you know what,
He needs to have
he
it.
needs to have it, and so we'll make this. But what he didn't get with that is some of the other stuff that comes along,
Yeah.
with the promotion. So it's a give and take on that.
Yeah.
But anyway, go on. So
Um, what is your thought on how promotions should work? Because we have done, well, I have not done, but you've done it two different ways where you get the shit beat out of you for a couple of weeks and then you
yeah,
get your purple belt. And then you've also done it where there's testing involved.
right.
Um, for me personally, obviously, no apologies. This is personal opinion. I would rather get the shit beat out of me. For example, when I got my blue belt, it was a random Friday, which I didn't normally train on Fridays at that time. Um, it was a random Friday. I think I got off of work early, and I was like, let's go to jujitsu. Like,
Yeah.
if I have the time, I'm going to be at jujitsu. Um, and we did a little bit of class, but only like 10 minutes. And the rest was a Shark Tank. And I was like, what the fuck did I do
Yeah.
to deserve this? And you made a face at me. And
Like, just
then,
keep going, because I knew,
yes,
but
you
yeah.
knew. I did not know. I was just like, who did I piss off? um, but then I was going with Ken, and I couldn't stand anymore. I was like, I'm not getting up. And he yelled at me. He didn't yell at me. He told me sternly, get off your ass. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh shit. Like this might be it. So I somehow got to my feet. I don't know how. Those pictures, my face is tomato red
Yeah,
because
it
I
was a
was
lot of work.
so hot. Also, we don't turn the AC on in our gym. And I think it was in April that I got my blue belt, and it was a warm day.
Yeah, it was
So,
warm.
and I was wearing a long sleeve rash guard, so I was beat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but would you like? What are your thoughts on testing? What are your thoughts on Shark Tanking? And what are your thoughts on getting promoted on the podium?
Um, so personally, like as Natalie, not as Natalie, co-owner of Underground.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I definitely did. I didn't like the testing portion of it. Um,
I get test anxiety bad.
yeah, it's partly that, but it was also partly like I felt like I was learning, or I was testing on a lot of stuff that I was never going to use. And I didn't, and I don't mean that in the way like I'm never going to use it because it doesn't work, but I was never going to use it because it wasn't
Your
my
style.
styling.
Yeah.
And so for me, and again, it is like, I don't mean that in any way where you're trying, like, different curriculums, different gyms have curriculums and they have reasons for it, and it's okay. But for me, I always like the idea that you can promote someone based on, are they really good at their styling? Because maybe they're more wrestling and
Mm-hmm.
they don't do a lot of, like, maybe they don't do a lot of, I don't know, a lot of sweeps. Okay, that's a good example. Maybe I don't do a lot of sweeps. In fact, you very rarely will see me do sweeps.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe when you think about it, like, when's the last time I swept you?
Yeah.
Maybe if you get a little bit too far to one side, up, come up over the top, but it's very rarely an actual sweep because it's just not my styling.
Game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not the way I'm looking to do things. Chances are I'm probably trying to attack your legs or whatever. Um, but I know lots of people, we have a lot of people in our gym who aren't necessarily going to have you know, they don't do this one thing. Maybe they don't play legs, or maybe they don't do a lot of pressure, or maybe they're whatever. Maybe they don't, or maybe they suck at stand up because they're really good at just, whatever. But are we going to say, hey, you need to learn all of this stuff you're never going to use, but we're not going to promote you because you're not good at these few moves,
Yeah.
despite the fact that you're destroying brown belts
Mm-hmm.
with the shit you are good at. So that's part of the reason I'm not a big fan of those curriculum promotions. um, I do like more of the promotions that are based on, okay, you're actually like, you're good. And that was the kid that we did give that promotion to. Like, you're just watching him just destroy people, and it's
He
like,
comes in
okay,
here every week and he's just ripping through
yeah.
people. And I'm like,
And it's like, okay, are you not going to give this kid a promotion?
yeah, no,
Like,
he deserved it.
that doesn't make sense. But I bet you anything, if you said do this, like all of these different sweeps, he wouldn't necessarily know how to
No,
do them. I bet he doesn't know what a scissor sweep is.
no.
No, but he's a wrestler, so he can get on top.
He gets on
So,
top and then he gets on your legs.
right. So, like, what's your, so I guess for me, that's kind of where I'm much more into that. As far as Shark Tanking goes, I do really like to test people right before that belt. I think that's important. Um, yeah. So when I got my purple belt, Tom Grimmer got his
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, and yeah, it was an hour of Shark Tanking plus leading up to it. I was sick, so I got let off the hook a little bit.
Just a little bit. Not
I
much.
still had to Shark Tank, but everybody was mostly nice to me
You
because
were also
I had the flu, guys.
doubling up on classes because you were in women's class and I Shark Tanked you a couple of times too.
You did, yeah. So it's not like I didn't get something, but the actual day that I got my purple belt, it was less so. So yeah, I guess that's kind of where I struggle is, and I will say where Ken and I struggle together, because if you've noticed, Underground has done it several different ways
Oh
now.
yeah.
So what we struggle with is the in between. Like, you have some gyms that will literally just throw the belt at you, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. They just, like, you've been promoted, that's it. And others make a huge thing where it's got to be during a seminar.
Yeah.
And we don't want to do that, but we were also like, do we really want to just throw a belt at somebody too? And I think you were probably we did yours as a surprise. You didn't
Yeah.
know what you were getting, but then we were like, well, but should we make it so that we kind of felt bad? We were like, maybe Chelsea would have liked to have had people there for her. So we are trying to figure out like
Yeah.
how we really want to do it, but it seems to be different every time.
Which is fine.
It's just, we'll
Trial
see,
and error.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how Underground does it,
Yeah.
and we're trying different ways, but
I
it will
will.
never be based on a curriculum. I
Yeah.
can guarantee that. There'll never be a testing.
Yeah.
So,
I will say, like, because I struggle with that. Because, yeah, are there people that I wish would have been there for my blue belt? Like my mom and my dad. My
mm-hmm.
dad, he doesn't, he's been to two comps. First comp got hurt. Second comp was my revenge, which wasn't really revenge. It was just against the girl that I had
Right.
for my first comp. And so he came to that one, but he hasn't really watched me do much jujitsu. He came to the picnic in the park and thought he could beat me up.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was actually hilarious. I look back at those photos and videos occasionally. I'm like, yeah, remember when I put you in that armbar and you thought you could just, man strength
You
me?
can just get out of it.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Dad. um, so I do want to know so that those people can be there. But at the same time,
It's probably kind of cool being like, oh shit,
yeah.
I'm getting
And
my blue belt.
that's
Yeah.
what it was. And I honestly, I was just like, did I shit talk too much? Like, why am I getting beat up? And then when Ken was like, get off your ass, it was like which would have been really mean is if he didn't give me my blue belt that day, I probably would have cried.
Right.
But yeah, the surprise of it was cool. Um, and also, like, yes, I'm our women's coach. Yes, I do a seminar. I don't even like to call it a seminar because I'm a three-stripe blue belt. Like,
I
it's for
mean,
charity.
right.
It is a women's seminar, an open
We don't
mat.
know what else to call it.
Yeah,
That's really the reason, but it's not really a seminar
yeah,
because everybody's doing like little half-hour workshops, but it's not really a workshop either.
right.
So
We don't know what to call it.
seminar for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
but
But being in front of all those people,
and you
um,
do great.
well, this last one, having Amber and Jamie, who Jamie just got her black belt, but Amber took her black belt,
Mm-hmm.
and Jamie brown belt at the time. I was just like, oh,
That's what's so cool about the women's community, though, is because you taught something
yeah,
and you taught it well. It doesn't matter that,
thanks.
like, they,
Yeah,
I never got the feeling that they didn't respect what you were.
no,
Yeah.
no, they were very, very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. I forgot. Oh, being in front of people.
Oh.
So, little fun fact, when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a cheerleader. Like, did a cheer camp in the summer, everything through the high school. And my mom one day was like, "You know, you'll never be a cheerleader, right?" Which that sounds really harsh. She meant it because she was right. Mom, I'm admitting you're right. Mark it on the calendar. Love you. But she's like, you'll never be a cheerleader, right? And I was like, yeah. Do you know why you'll never be a cheerleader? Because I don't like people looking at me.
Right.
I don't like to be the center of attention. Now with the super fights, I've gotten like a little bit over that.
That's why I've never done one.
But yeah, like when you got your
Mm-hmm.
purple belt and Ken had me stand up there, how many times did I mess up handing out the plaque and shaking people's hands because I was just
Oh,
like,
I don't know. I wasn't even watching because I was in my own little, like, I got to go up there. I got to go up there. I got to deal with this.
Steve
Oh.
was, I think, the first one, and I gave him his plaque, and then immediately turned to grab the next belt and like undo the little tie thing on it. And Steve was just standing there with his hand out, and then I think Karen, or no, who was it? Someone was like, Chelsea. And I like looked, I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. Like,
Oh, I don't
there's
know.
the little blue belt up here.
Oh, yeah. God, I missed all of that. I was so in my head.
Exactly why I'm like, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I really want to go in front of people. But
Okay.
at the same time, like I like
Yeah.
knowing so that I can have the people that don't necessarily train here that I'm friends with, or like my family that don't train jujitsu here to support me when I eventually get
Right.
my purple belt. Um, but I like the surprise aspect of it too. So
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
a
I
hard
don't know
one.
which is better.
I know.
Yeah. And part of it was always like we also, when we started talking about the culture and like the gym we wanted to build, we never wanted belts to be so important that people
Yeah.
were chasing belts. Like,
I forget about the belt.
yeah, I don't, and because belt chasing shouldn't be the reason why you're there. Now, granted, I'm not saying that in a way that you shouldn't be proud of your accomplishment, but because you should be, but if that's the only reason you're training, you're missing.
Yeah.
And so we were like, we don't really want the belts to be such a centered, and because we don't want necessarily this clear hierarchy, we don't line up, we don't do all of that stuff. We just never wanted belts to be
We don't
such
do
a
anything.
folk, huh?
We don't do anything
No,
formal.
no, we just didn't want it to be such a focal part of it, but we also don't want to make it nothing. Like, it's
Yeah.
still an accomplishment. And so trying to find that balance between being like, having people just, why am I not getting promoted, why am I not getting my belt, and I should be getting mine, they got theirs, and like trying to stay away from that, but also still make it special because it does matter.
Yeah.
That's a hard balance
You
to
put
find.
well, in this gym, you put a lot of sweat into that.
Right.
Sometimes blood. There has been
Yeah,
blood on the mat,
sometimes blood, black
and
eyes.
not from me though.
Mm.
um,
Or sometimes you don't know why. I still don't know how I got that black eye.
yeah.
Nothing happened.
Um, and sometimes literal tears. Like I have definitely cried from
Mm-hmm.
jujitsu, and it's not anything that anyone here did. It's just that I'm like, fuck, that was
Right.
hard. Like,
Sometimes their days are hard. Yeah.
yeah,
I've never actually cried, but this was back in my brand new blue belt day. There was a moment when I was rolling with a guy, and he wasn't being aggressive or anything like that. It's just, I was like, all of the stuff that I thought I was doing to protect myself, that I thought I was getting, like, oh, this is self-defense, I'm going to be able to protect myself on the street, was gone with him barely doing anything. And
oh no,
it just was like, oh god, it was so enlightening, it was so eye-opening for me to tell the difference between a woman and the strength of a man, that
yeah.
does matter. And so, and my jujitsu has gotten better since then, to be fair. But at that time I was like, oh shit, like, I thought I was better than this. and I wasn't. And so yeah, I
Imposter
almost
syndrome.
exactly. And so I almost started crying that day. I had to like get off the mat and compose myself
Yeah,
because, and like I said, he didn't do anything mean or anything like that. He didn't hurt me, but I was just like, why is this
not working.
not working?
Yeah,
And how was he able to do something that I didn't think he'd be able to do?
yeah,
And so yeah.
yeah. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And actually, I should just say it. He got me in an arm in triangle while he was in my guard,
Oh yeah,
which size for size is generally not something
yeah,
somebody would be able to do.
yeah. Guys, don't try that.
But he did it, and I had to tap out, and that sucked.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was
That
eye
sucks.
opening.
Yeah,
So
damn. Just get out of the guard.
yeah.
When people when people do shit like that, it makes me think, do you just not know how to get out of the guard and pass the guard?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Or is it one of those things? If you can get it on somebody, now the question is, would he be able to get it on another guy?
yeah,
Probably not. And so then it becomes like, okay, should he have done it to me? But if he can get it on another guy, then like,
that's an
but
episode we should do.
yeah, but then I think about it and I'm like, I don't think he'd be able to get it now because my jujitsu is better and I would have had an answer to it,
Right,
I think.
right.
So
Yeah,
anyway, we just went off on another tangent.
we're doing that a lot. That's
Yeah.
okay. It's just the
There's
two of
only
us.
two of us, yeah.
Welcome to Natalie and I's every day when we're
Normal
together.
conversations, right?
This is
So
about how it goes every time.
all over the
And
place.
lots of
Yeah.
thoughts, train of thoughts.
So answer your own question though,
What was my
as
question?
far as curriculum
Oh yeah.
or yeah. So
Like I had said, I get test anxiety. So I don't necessarily like the idea of testing. Um, and then like if I get one like centimeter off, it's like, am I gonna
mm-hmm.
fail? Like
Right.
it's not something I normally do. I know my jujitsu is more rounded than that. Maybe it's a move that I just never do, but my other move, like we said, my other moves are good.
Right.
Um, am I gonna fail the test just based on one tiny mistake? Like that's where I get in my head. So I don't really like the idea of testing. Obviously, to each their own. But for someone that has anxiety and severe test anxiety, like
Right.
college, I was horrible at college. I was horrible at all school because I sucked at tests. Um,
Yeah.
like it was bad. um, so I don't like it in that aspect for myself, just because I get so anxious and like worked up, and I will forget everything that I have worked on.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like podium, I think there's a time and a place for it. Um, like our person, he definitely is a blue belt. Like
Right.
if you've got someone who is a white belt and a teenager jumping into adult blue belt divisions and getting ankle locks left and right,
Right.
like yes, he needs his blue belt. As far as on the podium, that's another thing. I don't like all eyes on me. So I don't really like it because I don't want my competitors to be, and this is not like someone feels like this, but I maybe would, it's never happened to me, so I don't know, but maybe I would be like, oh, well, of course I lost. They just got
They
their
were
purple belt.
sandbagging. Right.
Like, and I never want to have those thoughts about anyone or about myself, or like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever want to be like, of course I lost, because anyone can get caught,
Right.
right? We always say that. So I don't necessarily like podium promotions just because it's like, okay, well, you brought the belt, you knew that they were going to get that belt that day.
So
So
why did you have them go? Yep.
yeah, why didn't you just give it to them and let them prep for their next comp, their debut at their next belt?
Right. Right.
Um,
And I think our guy was a little bit different, like we said, because he had just turned 16
well,
anyway, so he couldn't have been
and he was
a blue belt
also,
before then. And he had moved up to the blue
yes,
belt.
he was
Right.
also in the blue belt division
Right.
when this happened.
Right. He wasn't in a white belt decision. Then we
Mm-hmm.
gave him the blue belt
Yeah.
because he dominated as white belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that I can get
And you
behind.
see that a lot.
Right. So like that I can get behind. Like if I'm jumping up into the next division and I get promoted on that podium with that division, that's
Mm-hmm.
something totally different, where I have a you see it a lot at some big tournaments, where they're promoting on that podium at these majors. And I'm like, couldn't you just promote them and then
Right.
have them get ready for their debut at that next belt? Because a lot of times those people are competing regularly too. So it's like, just get them ready, like
Right.
promote them and get them ready for the next one. And it's just personal opinion. And then as far as like the shark tanking, I mean, I've kind of said it throughout the episode. Like I want to bust my ass and put my sweat into
Right.
what I'm earning. I don't want anyone to just be like, here's your purple belt. I personally don't want that. You can put me on record saying I want my ass kicked for my purple belt.
Well, well,
um,
you will likely get your ass kicked
yeah,
for your
I
purple
know. I'm not looking forward to the burpees,
belt.
but
Hopefully, you don't have the flu.
yeah, maybe I will act like I have the flu, so I get
Mm.
no. I'm not like that. I'm
No.
sick. Not
Right.
really. Just take it easy
Yeah.
on me. Um, but yeah, I would rather like bust my ass for my promotion. I don't ever want anyone to be like, you didn't work hard enough for that or you didn't deserve that. So I would
Right.
much rather like I said, put my blood and sweat into something and get it
Mm-hmm.
that way. And I would rather sit on my belt and know when I'm gonna get my purple, like, hey, you've put in your time.
Right.
I've blue and stewed. I've started to perfect my game at my blue belt. Now, what am I gonna do at my purple belt?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think white belt, obviously, you're learning what you want, or like not what you want, but you're learning everything because you don't know anything.
Yeah.
And then blue belt, you're still learning everything because you don't really know everything.
No.
And eventually, later in your blue belt, you'll start to fix in on what you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
And then your purple belt should be, this is my personal opinion, your purple belt should be building your game on
Right.
what you're good at and then starting to expand and chain it into other things.
Mm-hmm.
And then your brown belt should be perfecting everything.
Right. That's when you're really getting more precise with
Details.
your game. And
Yeah.
yeah.
You're fine tuning your details at brown belt, and you should be able to walk people
Mm-hmm.
through it like that.
Right.
And then your black belt, obviously, you should be able to hold your own. Obviously, there's the age thing, there's
Yeah.
all of
There's
that.
some diminishing returns for sure. And if you don't think there is, it's probably because you're still 20 years old.
Yes. So
So
for the people that are older and getting their black belt, obviously these 20-year-olds that are getting their black belt are probably going to beat up the 60-year-olds that are getting their black
for
belt.
sure. Like, yeah.
But there's, if someone's been on the mat for 25 years, are you never going to give them their black belt because they can't beat the 20-year-old black belt?
I I wouldn't think so. Like,
They've put in their
do they
time.
have the knowledge
Yeah.
base, I guess is the
And the maturity.
yeah, Matt
Maturity.
matures. There's more to it than just that. So
Right.
yeah, by the time you're getting your black belt though, you should have a pretty good knowledge base, even if you're not necessarily using those.
Yeah.
I probably will never get a butterfly sweep off of somebody, but I can do it. I know you do.
I love
I know
butterfly
you love
sweeps.
them. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's my short legs. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, but I'm not very good at them. And unless I accidentally, like, they leave their leg out there and I can clip it, I generally do not do a butterfly sweep, but I know how to do one.
Right.
So like the knowledge base I think is important. Um, but yeah, your 55-year-old are you saying I should never, because chances are I'm not going to be able to beat at this point in my game a 30-year-old competition purple belt.
You beat me.
Huh?
You beat me.
I'm bigger than you though. And that's
Yeah.
probably going to stop here.
Yeah.
Like, you will catch up with me.
Hopefully.
You
I
will.
want my leg game to be as
That's
good
really
as
all I
yours.
have though. Think about that. Like, you take that leg game away from me and I
You've
can't
got the
keep up with.
bicep slicers though.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't keep up with you, and there's a time that that's going to be more and more apparent. So,
Yeah, I
so,
guess.
um, and that's not imposter syndrome so much as it's just reality. So
Right.
there's diminishing returns. But this is, I think, and I've seen other people talk about it. This is the only sport where people say that the coach has to be as good as the players.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy to think of? Like, no football coach has to be in the football game getting beat by 20-year-old football players
Yeah.
at 50 years old to be
Yeah.
considered a good coach.
Right.
So, and I'll just say it, Ken is 50 years old. Like, he's already seeing that, right? Like, his
I don't
body's,
even see you guys as
huh?
I
Yeah,
don't
we're
see you
so
guys as
old. We're
50.
so old. But his body is, it's harder for him to keep up than it
Yeah.
used to be. Even then where he was, 3 years ago, like, you see it, you start to see it, you start to feel it. Are you going to tell me that 10 years from now they should take his black belt away from him because he's not going to, like, imagine Gabe, I'll just say his name. Imagine Gabe in 10 years.
Yeah.
Do you think he's
I don't
going
want to
to,
be around for that.
right? Do you think if he keeps training that he's not going to be able to beat Ken?
Yeah. Well, and you coming as like from a coach, um, if your students, I don't like that, students, whatever you want to call them, if your people that you're coaching can't beat you, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Because either you're not teaching them well enough or
Mm-hmm.
you have this thought that they can't beat you, so you're not giving them the tools fully.
Right. Or you're
Where,
not rolling with them because you're protecting
yes,
your ego or you're protecting your black belt.
yeah. So if your people can't beat you and you're a coach, that's a little bit of a red flag to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when our girls catch me and stuff, I'm like, oh shit, like
Good job.
you
Yeah.
guys are figuring it out now. I got to figure out how to stop you.
Right. And that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And make it harder for you
Mm-hmm.
because if I make it harder for you, it's only going to elevate your game. It's also going to elevate my game.
Right.
And so and that's one of the things where we had a little bit of a conversation about it during class tonight, but um, like if your coach can't take shit from you or can't take being beaten by you,
Right.
maybe look at where you're at because that's a little bit of a red flag.
It is. I think it's a red flag. Yeah.
Because as a coach, I'm here to build the people around me.
Right.
And we kind of had a whole conversation about it earlier, but I want to build up the people around me. I never
Mm-hmm.
want to tear anyone down or anything like that. So when my girls are beating me, I'm like, okay, like
Right.
something is happening and something is correct. And the biggest compliment I have gotten was from Ray actually recently, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what," which I don't take credit for this.
Hmm.
But he's like, "I don't know what you guys are doing in women's class. I don't know if it's you or Natalie or what, but he's like, I roll with any of the women, and it's like they're all octopuses."
No.
He's like, Natalie's got 8 legs, Tori's got 8 legs, Mel's got 8 legs, like
Yeah.
Michaela's got 8 legs. He's like,
Hmm.
everyone. And so I took that as a big compliment because I'm like, yeah, our girls can go in with men
Mm-hmm.
and give them trouble. And they're like, oh, yeah, these girls know what they're doing.
Yeah. No, that's good.
And
That is a compliment to you. That's
I would never want people to look at our women's program and be like, what are they learning in women's class?
right.
So for someone to be like, what the hell are you doing to them?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. So I'll pat myself on the back. I'm like
Right.
Natalie too, because she teaches for me when I'm out.
Not very often. No,
But
that's you. I mean, we have a new women's program. They're
yes.
new, but they're tough women.
Yeah.
And that's attributed, that's you. Like, you're pushing them and you're
Well,
not.
it's them too.
Yeah, definitely. No, you can't take anything away from them. And maybe as a general rule, you're not really appealing to women that don't want to work hard or
Yeah.
whatever, but
I kind of cracked the whip a
yeah.
couple of times. I'm like, get your ass in gear.
They don't come back then. I don't know, but you're training the women to be killers,
Yeah.
and that's good. They're new. I mean, Michaela's probably the most experienced.
Yes.
But the rest of them are all under 2 years of
Yeah.
experience, and so they're new, but they're
They're
tough, man.
They're tough.
Yeah,
And
they're
that's
absolutely tough. Tori and Beth are like, they're not easy
they're
roles.
scary.
Yeah,
They're
they're not
scary.
easy. Give both of them a year, and you and I are both gonna have to really up our game.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, I mean, we're kind of going on another tangent here, but it's okay. That's the women's program that I want to build. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have two people on the mat that are tough and just working
Right.
than having 20 on the mat and it's just like chitter chatter
They're
and like
talking and
not
yeah.
putting in the work. Because at the end of the day, it's like 45 minutes to an hour out of your day, twice a week.
Mhm.
Show up for those 2 hours, bust your ass, go home, and you're gonna feel better about yourself.
Right.
Um, so that's kind of what I and you and I have talked about this. We're the whole gym is kind of like that. We are building that. That's the route that we like because we like to be workhorses.
Mhm.
And so I'd rather build that and have smaller numbers, but have a tough room
Right.
than have a room that people walk into and they're like, oh, you've got the numbers, but you know what I mean.
Right. Right.
So
No, absolutely. I like the idea of training like a competitor, even if you're not a
yes,
competitor. Like
yeah,
I like that idea. Like we can get on the mat and work hard, and
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I had a conversation with Will just the other day because he was asking about my shoulder and competing again, and he's like, I don't ever really want to compete again. He's like, I
Really?
maybe I shouldn't say that.
Oh,
Sorry, Will.
no, that's okay. It's his
But
choice. He's just a
he,
good competitor. It's fine. I
yeah,
mean,
he's like, I get what I want out of being here, and he trains like a competitor.
he
That
does. Yeah.
freaking dude, I am terrified to come back in 6 months because I know he's tallying points of payback on me because I
Probably.
talk probably the most shit to him. But
Mm,
but yeah, so it was he shows up and he trains like a competitor, and he might compete again. He might
mm.
not, but he's still coming in and putting in that work, which I highly respect that.
Yeah, for sure. Not everybody wants to compete,
Yeah,
and I think everybody should at least once
just to get a feel.
get a feel for it and put yourself out there. I just watched a reel where somebody was saying you should compete at least once at every belt level.
Yeah,
And that feels fair to me, like just to put yourself out there to see where you but I don't like it's not something as far as belt promotions go, I don't know where we're gonna fall on that, but it's not something that I think you need to live and die on as far as like some people it's just not for some people and I get
well, and
that.
some people have injuries,
Yeah,
lingering injuries,
yeah,
and
and if you're somebody that works with your like I could totally understand why Sarah would never feel comfortable
yeah,
competing. Like I get it. Um because your job and you can't. So I absolutely understand that. But you can still train in a way that is like, oh yeah, like
yeah,
this is like I'm really trying to. Not every role has to be a death role for sure,
right,
but and they should all have a purpose.
yeah. If I come in
So
here and I am training and I don't leave drenched in sweat, I'm like, wow, I did
right,
not work hard enough.
what was the point? Yeah,
Yeah,
like there should always be a purpose on that. So
yeah,
sometimes I take it easier, sometimes but I'm always trying to like on the days that I'm taking it easier, it's probably because I'm also trying to pick apart something.
right, right.
So I spend a lot of time like I'll let myself get in bad positions where I'm just laying on the bottom because I'm trying to figure out
How to get out?
like how to get out or what my you know some of the like cool little submissions that you can do from the bottom. I'm
Yeah,
trying to learn those and figure so
yeah,
train with purpose, I guess.
yeah.
I don't know what that has to do
I don't know either.
with
We're on tangents. Sorry, guys.
yeah,
You'll
it
deal
probably
with
doesn't
this.
have much to do with imposter syndrome,
Whatever.
but
That has something to do with
maybe if
belts.
you train with intent, you'll feel less
Imposter syndrome.
imposter
Oh, I
syndrome.
like
There we
that.
go. See, I wrapped that
Yeah,
back up.
perfect. One last question, and then we'll shut up because I think we're at like,
I'm guessing we're at least an hour.
yeah, I don't know. You and I talk all the time, so
Hmm.
it's fine. But as far as belts go, what do you think the longest belt should be and the shortest belt should be?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, personally, and this is with my not my baby purple belt experience, so maybe I'm not the best person to ask this
Yeah,
question to, but personally, I think blue belt is probably the one you should sit at the longest because you are learning. Like that's where you're really figuring out who you are and you know all the things that you learned as white belt you now have to figure out how to do against a resisting opponent,
yeah,
right? You learn so much as white belt. People take it easy on you, Everyone talks about that. You get your blue belt, now all of a sudden it's like,
Everyone's like,
whoa,
murder
holy shit!
them.
Like, oh, they've just been taking it easy
Yeah.
on me all this time. Oh, okay. So I feel like that's really where it should be the longest. White belt, white to blue, I think it's fine to a
Yeah.
couple of years or whatever.
On
But
average, like 2.
yeah,
Yeah.
average of 2 years. I think blue belt is really just proving that you stuck it out,
Yeah.
honestly.
Don't
Um,
get your blue belt and leave the mat.
right,
Come back.
I don't like the saying that if you get your blue belt, you can defend yourself now. As a
No,
woman, that's not true.
no.
Um, but that's that white to blue is really kind of, I 2 years seems fair. Blue belt, I think you should sit on longest. Purple belt, I feel like you should sit at for a while
Hmm.
too, like blue and purple, because that's really just when you're learning who you are, and
Yeah.
you're learning all the things. Like I said, now you got to do it against resisting opponents, and like really resisting. uh, and so and then brown belt, I feel like, I don't know that you need to sit at that one forever. I think that one's probably, I know some people do. Um, Ken sat at it for a while, but that was because of a change of gyms.
Hmm.
Um, so, but I don't necessarily. I understand why people want to sit at brown, especially if you
I
are
don't want to go to black belt.
right, especially if you are a gi player and you don't want to get into those black belt
Yeah.
divisions. But as a no gi player, that doesn't matter as
Right.
much because you're already, even Grappling Industries now puts purple, brown, and
Hmm.
black together. So
Yeah.
so I can understand why people want to sit at brown a little bit longer, but I'm not sure there's a huge skill
No.
change. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure like your brown to black is like there's this huge skill. You just at that point,
Fine
once you hit,
tuning.
yeah, because once you hit black, that's all you're doing from here on out is perfecting
Yeah.
everything. And so I don't know, brown is 2 years, I feel like is
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah. I think,
But especially if you sat at blue and purple for a long
yeah.
time. Okay.
I think blue should be probably your longest belt, followed by purple.
Hmm.
And then I think your shortest belt should be brown.
Oh, even okay, that's
I
interesting.
think
Shorter than white, even.
um it depends how long you're at white. Cuz
That's
like
true. You
me,
were at white for a minute.
I was white belt for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's where I not struggle, but like I think of it that way, but I think once, especially now, I don't know this for sure about Ken, but purple belt is a hard belt to get.
It's definitely one. He definitely
He,
believes in the blue and stew. Yeah.
yeah. And I feel like he gives you your purple belt, he thinks you're gonna get to black belt.
Hmm. I don't know. I'd have to ask him that, but I
Yeah.
would guess so.
Well, we're
Yeah.
gonna have him on the pod and we can
And we'll
ask him.
get
He
ask him
he
that
told us
question.
right before this recording he's never gonna be on the podcast. And I said,
Mm.
I will never force anyone to be on this podcast, but I will force you, sir.
We'll get him on. It might take a minute, but
Yeah,
we'll get him
we'll
on.
get him on. It'll be a whole theatrical. We're gonna have
Yeah.
the theatrics in it.
It'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting. Stay tuned. But yeah, I think your blue belt should probably be your longest, followed by your purple. I think your purple you should be really tuning into your game.
Right.
But I think your brown belt should probably be your shortest because once you figure out your purple belt and get there, you know what your game is at that point. Now, your brown belt, like, yeah, you're still perfecting it and you're figuring out how to teach it, maybe, unless you started teaching at a younger belt,
Yeah.
because you figure out ways to communicate with people verbally. Um, and then, yeah, your brown belt, once you're a brown belt, you're basically a black belt in my eyes. Now, you have some gyms that do it different.
For sure.
How
Yeah.
I
Like
see it is if you get your brown belt, you're basically a black belt. And so many comps put brown belts and black belts together because there's just not
for
enough
that
people.
reason. Right. Yeah.
And also, once you're there, you're there. You kind of know the game, you
Right.
know your game. Now you're just perfecting it and adding in
Hmm.
like little details to make it better.
Right.
So,
No, and I think brown belt is probably where you're right. I mean, a lot of people will start teaching like beginner classes and stuff like that at maybe mid blue or purple, but by the time you're a brown belt, I think is when you're getting really good at
yeah.
teaching, because there's a difference between like running a class and really like, can you really break down those moves to like, if you can teach
Not
it
me.
to a kid. Well, that's
I
it.
say your ankle is your wrist. So
No, I think you're giving yourself a hard time. But yeah, Ken will always say, can you teach it to a kid? Because if you can teach it to a kid,
you can
then
teach it to anyone.
you can teach it to anyone. So I think that's where you're getting really good at that teaching, and not just like as running a full class, but like just working with somebody.
Yeah, for
As a
sure.
brown belt, you should be able to really like guide anybody you're working with.
Yeah, for
To
sure.
so, but I personally, I guess I don't know, like brown belt. Yeah, 2 years seems fair to me.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's probably a short one. I agree with you on that one, especially in the competition world.
Yeah,
So,
cool. Anything else?
mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
How much time are we at?
I have no idea. I can't
Because
see.
if
It's too
because
small.
one thing we've never done is we've never done the rapid to each other. So
Oh, let's do
a mini rapid.
a little mini.
It's 9:07.
Oh shit, we've been recording for a long time.
All right, why don't we
Sorry, guys.
just wrap it up then?
All right, we'll wrap it up. We are gonna do a little mini segment
Oh
after
yeah.
this,
Okay.
but my stomach is also growling. So,
Holy crap.
I am going to remind you guys to always
Roll rogue.
perfect. See you guys on the next one.